typically
thing.
you don't do that,
Yeah, people don't fry salmon because most people are classy and they don't put frying fish with classy, but the peasants don't eat salmon.
Well, and just, I mean, I think typically the way it's always served, if you go out, right, if it's traditional, in a traditional sense, it's always grilled or baked
Or blackened.
or blackened. Yeah. And,
But
and
yeah.
and one of the things I've seen is, that's why I asked you. I said deep fry or pan, like
Oh, I'm
I've
deep
seen
frying.
people sear it and then throw it in the oven, which
Yeah.
I don't even do that. I just put it in the oven.
I'll sear it, then I'll put it in the oven because you know, if you just want to sear it and you don't put it in the oven, it's just gonna be fucking ugly because you don't want to flip that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Dang, I'm not supposed to cuss this early.
we didn't even get a minute in. That's crazy. All that
No,
fucking cussing already.
hey man, look here. I just get so comfortable when I'm talking to my friends. Hey, I think tomorrow, I think that becomes the first locker room. What you think?
I'm fine with that.
All right, I think a nice rollout.
I feel like the locker room as a show will be more based towards us, interview based more,
Okay,
because I feel like this can still be a show. This
I
is
do too.
It can still be a show, but that we, especially now with football, and then we're gonna have basketball. You got baseball still going on. This is the strictly 100%
Me and you,
exactly.
and
Wow,
maybe a moderator.
maybe
Maybe.
it's got to be the right one.
Got to be the right one. Got to have chemistry.
Yes.
It's got to sell the product. But yeah, now most people don't fry salmon, but I'm country and I want to fry salmon, so I'm gonna fry salmon.
Hey, nobody. Look, I don't see anyone judging you.
And you know what? They're not paying for it or eating it. So if they
There
did,
is, more importantly, I
how's your weekend, man? How's your week been? Shit, it's Thursday, and I'm asking about your
know,
weekend.
I know, we're getting through it. Obviously, my birthday this weekend. I'm not a big birthday celebrator to begin with, but it is something to still. It is something to celebrate, and one of the things that I think that I had reflected on probably more than anything about it was the idea of, and I hate to go pro black, that that aspect of it, but I did look at it, and you look at somebody like an Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, um, anyone to me, right? I mean, you could go down the list, and I think of all the people that didn't make it to that age and what they would do to make it to that age. So even though I'm not a big birthday celebrator, I do think it's something to celebrate because you didn't have to be here. And um, I just reflected more on, they would do anything to be in that position. What do you mean you're not celebrating? So all in all, a good weekend though. / week, I guess, work week too. Um, Had to still get over Vegas from the week before, and it just feels like it carried over, kind of. But
I look forward to actually hearing more about Vegas in person
oh man,
this weekend.
I'll say this much: it was one for the books. It was one for the books.
As Vegas should be. But we're here. The focus of today's pod is going to be college football. We think. I'm going to be honest with you all. I have an interest in college football, but my interest in college football is not my interest in the NFL. Uh, they're kids. They're
Well, we pretty much
unpredictable.
keep it at the top. Let's keep it real. Really, the top 15 to 10 teams. I mean, even if you're ranked, it doesn't mean much. But if you're not in that top 15 discussion, then there's not much to talk to you about, because that would mean that you're competing. If you have a shot in hell of playing in your conference championship game, we talk about you.
Right, but I'm gonna be honest. Except for the ACC championship, if you're not Clemson,
Wake Forest was good last year, but the issue with them is that their star quarterback's out, and so and Florida State and Miami are irrelevant still, even though we get to get a big kahuna in week
Cristobal.
2 with Florida State and LSU. That, name recognition wise, that's big, and it's at the Superdome. They're not even playing in the jungle out there in Death Valley, rather.
Death Valley, yeah. You know, I wonder who has the best Death Valley, Clemson or LSU? Like, how
It sounds like
corny is
LSU.
that they both have the same thing?
So
Tigers, Death Valley.
I've been lucky enough to actually see Clemson's Death Valley.
Okay.
Because Taurus, they played a tournament at Clemson one time, so we got to walk around and stuff. So I've actually got, and actually back when motherfuckers had Kodak cameras and refillable film and stuff like that. We used to take several pictures, but I got to actually see that one in person. Of course, this is before they were good at football. I mean, I'm sure they've been an okay program, but before Clemson was Clemson, the new Clemson, the Clemson that we know it to be today. But I would probably venture to say that LSU's better.
I've heard LSU is one of the best football experiences that you can experience, and if you are a college football fan, you should experience it.
Nighttime games.
We've never talked about really going to a college game.
I'm always open to it. All the college I typically see is here at the Dome, and so
and that's corporate college. That's not real college.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, well, look, the co-eds are out. I'll say that much. They are.
Yeah, they are, but it's still a different vibe. You still got, again, the corporate folks like you who go sit in their seats. I just feel like
and don't truly have a rooting interest. You just want a good game type shit.
Yeah,
unless those dogs are playing. I mean,
I've been thinking about, since I'm so close, just going down to Tallahassee one weekend for the old Knowles, or hitting Jacksonville for Georgia, Florida, because it's. But I hear they softened it up. It's not what it used to be. It's not what.
Oh, you mean for the Georgia, Florida game?
Yeah, because it's not the world's largest outdoor cocktail party anymore.
It's the world's largest outdoor tailgate party.
Yeah. This PC culture has ruined a lot of good things.
It has, and there's nothing you can do about it, because if there is something that you could do about it, they wouldn't be able to go back and look at what you did do about it at first and bring it back up to you.
Say, hey, when this guy was 16 years old, he tweeted something very stupid. You don't say.
Right. He showed himself smacking a girl's butt while drinking from a fucking Heineken keg. He's a fucking sexist. He's a pig. He doesn't deserve to be a part of this world.
Yeah. The worst is when it's stuff that comes up prior to me too, right? Hey, he was in line with the accepted cultural norms of his time and his age bracket, and he did that. He's a creep today. What? I had a conversation with a dude this week, and he told me about, somebody, he was in high school. He's like, hey, I bet you won't go slap her ass. You scared.
Right.
What do you do when you're 15 and somebody dares you to go slap an ass? And
then you might, depending on whose ass it is, you might want to grab.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was enough incentive. Now it's I can pin it on this guy because he said that it was a bet. I'll even cut you in on it if you let me do it. It'll just be a quick little tap. I promise. I'm not spanking you. It's not going to be a grip. It's just literally just a nice little tap. Get in there type tap.
Yeah,
like little league coaches used to do.
Yeah, and at that age, and especially at our age, during that time, that was the social norm.
Is that
smack her ass?
Is that boys being boys?
Yeah, you just smack her ass, and then she either slaps you or she laughs. You know what I mean? That's how you know.
make life the same again, Holly? Is that the new? Is that our?
No. I'm not trying to bring those times back. All I'm saying is, let's give the people who committed certain acts during a certain time frame the grace of that era. And as long as they're not doing it today and they realize that was bad behavior.
Should we give Andrew Jackson a grace, for having slaves?
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm not spending 20s because Andrew had slaves.
Right. Where are those tubs at? Yeah, they're not supposed to be dubs anymore. They're supposed to be tubs.
Well, we've waited on them tubs for what, 10 years?
Well, I think 2020 was when it was supposed to come out. They announced it before Trump. I know. They announced it when Barack was in office. It might have been his second term. It might have not been 10 years, but we're getting to 7, 8 for sure.
Hey, well, think about this though. If they put Tub on the dub, right? They're gonna have her in her head wrap. They're gonna make her look like less than regal.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be some Sambo type bullshit.
Well, because that's the only picture they don't. If I type in Harriet Tubman right now on Google, I wonder how many pictures come up without her not having a wrap on.
And black women, it's okay to wear your wraps. We're not telling you what to do. Okay,
It's not too many, but
Jesus Christ.
You know, Harriet Tubman is maybe the most inappropriate thing to dress up as for Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because think about you walk around and you're wearing a wrap and you like, yeah, it would just be so inappropriate.
Bro, that looks like blackface from a black person. Like, I mean, she didn't smile. And she had them big lips and high cheekbones without a smile like that. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't put that on a $20 bill. You know how, like, look at that. You know how much shit people gonna talk.
That's and that's my point. It'll turn into one of those things where we start joking about 20s, especially because that's typically what gets dispensed coming out of
ATM.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people gonna be like, especially people in the South, I ain't spending no tubs. I want dubs. Give me that Andrew Jackson.
Right.
I ain't spending no nigger 20s. How dare you take President of the United States, Andrew Jackson, who sent the Indians on the Trail of Tears so they could cry their way to the West out of my South, and put that nigger-freeing slave abolitionist Harriet Tubman on my $20 bill. I can't spend that shit. That's not even good money. That's that Biden money. That's that inflation money. That money ain't even worth what a real $20 bill is.
Right. He's like, so now you guys got counterfeit bills with niggers on them. Now we've seen it all. Why don't y'all put that Martin Luther King on there, huh? Give him a little bit more.
You know what? Put Barack Obama on a $3 bill because he was the most phony president I've ever seen. He wasn't even from America.
You want to know how much a Barack Obama bill is worth? No Obama. I swear to God, bro, people used to hate on Barack so fucking much.
Bruh, I remember I almost got in trouble in high school for running through the school with a Barack Obama t-shirt on.
Did it say hope or believe?
Huh?
Did it say hope or believe?
It was like the Time magazine article.
Okay.
The cover. It was that one, but it was like in red, white, blue. Huh?
It's printed on the shirt.
Yeah, printed on there. And like I got the newspaper. I went because the Cartersville newspaper had a small picture of him. The AJC did all right. USA Today had it blowed up because the Cartersville, Daily Tribune in Cartersville, they did not want to put a big picture of a black man as the president of their country. They was pissed.
It's okay. It was all over the AJC.
Yeah, so I had to. I was just running through the school, being just an ignorant nigga, being what they expected us to be. I was all of that.
Bro, let me tell you, the day after he got elected, we came to school late. So we were on color people time. My brother Taurus, he was the one
Obama time.
He's the one that drove, and of course, my president is black was out. So of course, we looked Jeezy, of course, play that. But we pulled up blasting that, even though we were late and nobody was sitting, out in the parking lot. But that's still what we did. We came in, it was a somber crowd of white folks walking around. It was just a bunch of nobody wanted to acknowledge who won presidency. Niggas get the history class. You would think that you would talk about it. It is history. It's history. Even if it was a white man, whomever, if it was not Cheney, if it was John McCain, he still would have became the 44th president of the United States.
Nah, bro. We had a teacher who had like on her door, please do not speak about the election in my class today. And that shit was allowed. I remember I almost got kicked out of one of my classes because I was being ignorant. I was like, Obama. And like this girl was like If I hear Obama's name one more time, I'm going to scream. I go, Obama, 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 Obama. And instead of the teacher saying, hey, you need to collect yourself, young lady. Hey, AC, can you stop or you're going to have to leave my class? I'm like,
I'm not cursing. I'm not talking bad to her. I'm not even talking to her. I'm just saying
I
Obama.
said
What's
the
wrong with
president's
that?
name. She the one ready to scream because I remember this one girl said that she was going to move to Canada if Obama won. I said, my aunt work at the passport office at the post office. You want me to get you an appointment? Like, this shit was just so crazy because you went to private school, I went to country public school, of just how bothered people were that we have a black president. And I can't speak for you. I can speak for myself and be like, I'm not even bothered that you people are this racist. Like, it is what it is. Like,
It was
you're
a
a racist fuck, okay?
it was a time that is unparalleled. Like this is the moment that, at least in our lifetime, until there's another one, if there's another one, but we can, even regardless if there's another one, we can all say that we got to see it. And in our case, and I'm sure in yours, you got to vote for him.
I got to vote for him in 2012. Yep.
Same. That was my first election. I can say the first president I ever voted for.
Bro, I only voted in 2012 because I wanted to vote for Barack Obama.
I think that got a lot of people to reelect him. I mean, I was gonna do it just cause, like, I do think that, and it's kind of hypocritical because I don't vote in every election. Of course, I do, Senate, governor, but when
Warnock, baby.
yeah. I voted for him last time, and I voted for Ossoff too. But we need to dive into these NBA topics.
Yeah, we do, because we were about to go down a rabbit hole. Hey, man, look, Pat Bev is making some noise. And don't get me wrong, I love it. I think what Pat Bev brings to the NBA is great. I think what, like, the player that he is, his journey, because Patrick Beverly, he speaks to more NBA players than we actually hear from, right? Like, his voice, his message is that of the average player. Whereas a lot of times it's the LeBrons, the Chris Pauls, the KDs that we hear about. But their life, their legacy, it is what it is. It's not like, they're not struggling for a contract. They're signing 2 and 3 year deals so that they can hold the franchise hostage. They're not signing 2 or 3 year deals because that's all they can get,
Right.
So Bev, I can't find the damn post. So Bev pretty much came out and said what Katie did was foul, and because it stopped people from getting money. And if you know anything about the NBA offseason, what happens is when a big fish is out there in limbo, whether wait on them to sign a contract or they have a trade request, nothing moves. Like, the other big fish get picked up, some of the little fish, they get picked up, but the middle class, they get left. And if you want to do a deeper dive and you look at the NBA CBA, there's no love for the veteran middle of the pack players. It's about expensive old players, like your super max guys, vet minimums, and young guys. The middle class of the NBA,
And mid level exception.
but that's so limited though.
That falls in the middle class. Those are typically what, your above average player that either can't get the deal he wants or is just like, I mean, I think of DeMarcus Cousins when he signed with the Warriors. He came off an injury, and we all knew he was a max player with the Pelicans. Him and AD were both going for like 27 and 12, like both of them. And he gets hurt. He tears his Achilles, which is a serious injury, and he's a big guy, so that made it a little bit worse. And then he signed a mid-level with the Warriors that next year because they had the spot open. It's more than the minimum and the exceptions there. So those guys too, they carve out their market.
They
but they're
do,
typically
but
guys that get cut that are worth more, that were not worth as much as they were getting paid, but aren't worth the minimum.
Right. And that's the problem. That $8 million a year to like now the $22 million a year type guy. It's tough. It's tough for him, especially if you're older. But thing I like to say, Pat Bev came out and he was speaking against KD. Once I throw it over to Parlay Pete, I'll come back and I'll actually read the tweets. And he was just like, "Hey, bro, like this was pretty much fucked up. You did all this to withdraw your trade request. You messed up people's money." KD comes back and he's like, "Blame KD." And I'm not gonna lie to you, Parlay Pete. I side with Pat Bev, but what do you think on this one?
I think Bev is not necessarily in the wrong, but at the same time, KD isn't either. I'm not mad at him for calling him out about it because I think it does. A guy of his magnitude, it holds up a lot that goes on in the NBA. But ultimately, I know teams are looking. I mean, look, he probably would have got traded if he asked for it before free agency even began. But he did it in the middle of free agency. But, of course, they said the day that he requested it was also the same day that what was I going to say? Is the same day that
Kyrie didn't get his due?
Is the same day that his money became guaranteed on the year. And I guess it was already it wasn't not the guarantee, it was the bonus itself to where he got paid. Like that day, he got paid.
Okay.
And so hold on, I'm sorry. Seeing something here on business. And so I just think that in a situation like that, Pat Bev can call him out and say that, but in reality, I mean, there's only maybe one or two guys I could name specifically off the top of my head that it fucks with, like wholeheartedly fucks with.
Yeah, I know. Once definitely. I think it affects more than we know, given the information that we have. But I think the NBA is a reflection of American society. The haves versus the have-nots. And let's throw the middle class in there too. Because right now in our society, the middle class is getting fucked. Like, and the middle class is disappearing. You're either elevating or you're dropping, right? And that's what, like, the NBA is that.
But
which is why I think the NBA struggles to relate to American culture and why the ratings are dropping. Is because they take great care of the rich. The rich in the NBA, like LeBron, he just signed for $50 million a year. For years 19 and 20.
There's no such thing as negotiation for the one percenters of the NBA.
Exactly. And if we're talking real shit in business,
it's already written down.
If we're talking real shit in business, there's not much negotiation for the top one percenters. When the NFL says, "Hey, here's our media rights," it starts here. It's a bidding war. It's not a negotiation.
Yep. And guess what? This is where the bidding starts.
Yeah.
Like Justin Herbert, what is he in year 3?
Yeah.
So he'll be eligible after this year to start talking about contract. They're going to pick up the 5th-year option, of course.
It starts at $235 guaranteed.
Yes, because that's what Deshaun Watson got. And at the end of the day, and this is the worst part about the NFL, well, if you won't give it to me, someone will. There's a team with a quarterback that's willing to move off of him just to get me.
Well, and not to go too deep in football, but that's why Lamar's doing what he's doing. He's like, hey, if y'all don't want to give me more than Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed, don't franchise me twice. I will hit the free market, or let me hit the free market. And and the sports media talking about the problem is Deshaun Watson is being represented by his mother, and he doesn't have an agent. Bro, when you are a tier 1 quarterback, you don't need an agent, because what happens with quarterbacks before Patrick Mahomes did his stupid ass deal that actually fucked over the quarterbacks by taking that 10-year, $500 million. Like he screwed the quarterback market by doing that because he's better than all of them. Is you get paid more than the person who got paid before you. That is what happens when you are a starting quarterback in the NFL.
He signed a baseball contract.
He signed a you know what he did? He signed a contract as somebody who's not hungry and starving because he grew up in the home of a professional athlete, and it's not about he's less focused about the money and he cares about the situation, and he wants to make his situation as good as it can be.
And he's also accomplished what most haven't, to where his accomplishments speak so much for themselves to where he can live off of it. He could have, if he had signed a 4 or 5 year deal, he could have had 2 good seasons and 3 mediocre ones and would have still gotten top dollar the next time he hit free agency. Because that's unless he has a injury that is really going to put him out of it, or he just doesn't look the same, he will, because of who he is and what he's done, he will already get it. Like, there's very few guys that fall off the cliff like that. Like it would be one thing if Joe Flacco, what he did the year they won the Super Bowl, he got Super Bowl MVP, if he had played a whole year like that. Hadn't played that run of 4 games that he played in that postseason he has no 4-year run like that in his entire career.
No,
so he doesn't get paid that way.
And the thing about it is, because Joe Flacco has an agent, you have to pay Joe top of the market, because the agent will fuck you with his other clients or the other clients from that agency if you don't pay their guy. And that's the only thing that Lamar is losing by not having an agent, is you don't have the back end leverage to be like, hey, well, you know who's up next year too. You want to play hardball? We'll hit the market.
Well, he'll be like, tag me. He'll just look at it and he'll just be like,
that's what Lamar's saying.
I saw Kirk Cousins play this game already.
Yeah. And I'm better than him. It
worked out very well for him.
Let's circle it back to NBA though. And the reason why I like Pat calling it out is because you hear it. You hear the upper crust of the NBA get called out on a lot of basketball podcasts. Like Lou Will, the most he made in a season was like $8 million. That's crazy.
It is when you think about it.
And one of the reasons why he wanted to be a starter is because he got viewed as a bench player. And it's like, yeah, but he's in the closing unit. And I think that's one thing that needs to happen with basketball. People who don't understand basketball like in depth, it's not always about the starting lineup, especially in college and in the NBA. College, there's recruiting favors that happen, and sometimes you got to do little things to make it shake. NBA, the GM and the owner, especially the owner, where's my money going? We just paid him $20 million. He's on the court. But that closing lineup, that's your 5 best.
Yep. And Draymond actually said it best. I don't know if you got to see Draymond.
With
he was at something with someone. It's a video out there, Draymond, and basically he told it like it was. It was guys that aren't in the NBA. I don't know if they were college, high school, or whatever, but he said, there's 15 motherfuckers on the team in the NBA. He's like 2 of them. He's like, they can do whatever the fuck they want. He said everybody else has a fucking role. That's literally what he said. He said everybody else has a role. And he said, you know what? I embrace my role. And he said, that's why I got paid. That's why I'm a champion. That's why I've had success, because I've embraced exactly what it is that my team needs me to do, and I do it to my fullest extent. And obviously, I guess in his case, he's played on a couple of different teams, but of course, Steph is one of those guys that can do what they want. It doesn't really matter what they do. Steph Curry can shoot the ball from half court, and Steve Kerr's probably not going to yell at him.
Bro, I don't know if you remember this. When the Warriors signed KD, Clay was asked, like, hey, so Clay, now you guys got KD. How does that change your game? Are you giving up any shots or anything for KD? He's like, I ain't giving up shit. And if you look at the numbers, Clay gave up maybe one shot per game once KD got there. And what's one for what Clay was shooting? What's one shot?
Exactly.
Because he's Clay. But that's so super important, the role thing. And as a basketball player, you know this. The hardest part about basketball is becoming a role player at higher levels because the best players are usually the bucket getters. Like the best bucket getters in high school go to college. And then the ones who play in college, the best bucket getters of them go to the league. Then you got to go to the league and go, hold on. 3 corner threes in defense? I've never done this before. Well, do you want to stay here, or you want a cup of coffee?
I mean, exactly.
or do you want a mortgage?
Being in the NBA is better than not being in the NBA.
Right. Tony Allen, he said on the podcast one time, he was talking about he took a shot, right? Because people don't know Tony Allen, when he came to the league, he was a bucket.
And Kobe believes that he's
best defender.
Best against. Person that's ever defended him. Yeah.
But one time he took a shot and Doc Rivers said, "You want to stay on this team? You don't take that shot. We pay Paul Pierce to take those shots. We pay you to play defense." And once he said that to me, he said, "You know what? This is my focus." Which you look at Meta World Peace, Ron Artest. Ron Artest was a bucket in Indy. He could get buckets in Houston.
Buckets in Sacramento. The Kings, the last time the Kings made the playoffs, he was the best player.
Yeah, he got buckets in Sacramento. He got buckets in Houston.
Yeah.
Then he came to the Lakers, and that man looked stupid with a basketball. You know why?
Well,
2-4.
He made the biggest shot in that.
Yeah, game. He saved Kobe.
He didn't save Kobe. Ray Allen saved LeBron James.
Absolutely, he did.
I don't think Ron Artest necessarily said. Yeah, it was a big shot. I mean,
do you want me to pull up Kobe's stats from that game 7? They were fucking terrible.
He had almost 20 rebounds, Lee, or it was 15 assists or something. 15.
Yeah, he had a bunch of rebounds as a shooting guard.
Like 21 and 15.
He was like 7 for 21. Get a bucket, Kobe. I don't need you getting rebounds.
He was whooping ass the entire series. No. Hold on now. Now we got to look at this in context. It was a low scoring game too. I remember that game was like 80 something to 70 something.
Yeah, it was made some shots. They would have 100 something to 70 something.
Even for 10, 11 years ago, low scoring NBA game. Like
game 7 in the finals. Expectation.
Defense. Hey man, he can't make everything.
Shit, he couldn't make anything.
He had 20. Look, it's like 21 and 15, I think.
Oh God, yeah, because if he's Kobe Bryant, he's gonna get fouled. But anyways, Pat Bev also got traded to the Lakers. It tells me a lot of things. It tells me that they're looking to get another guard. And Russ, what Flavor Flav used to say on the show? Your time is up.
I think we got to see year 2 Russ with them.
One, you got to see it. I don't.
Well, for one, because he's going to start the season, and we know that. Even if they get Kyrie, that sounds so mid-season now at this point. Maybe the trade can still get done, but I expect to see it, you know, if they were to make that move, it will be at All-Star break. And so –
agreed.
I just think that we will see a better Russ. I don't expect Russ to be MVP Russ by any stretch, but what do I expect? I expect him to be more comfortable in his role, maybe a better facilitator, because I think that there's a better chance of LeBron being able to catch and shoot than it is for Russ to be able to catch and shoot, even if LeBron has to have the ball in his hands too like that. I think that as a facilitator, he's going to have to take that like on him to like become the best facilitator that he can be. If he can do that, I think the team will be better. It will open him up. He's going to be open regardless to shoot, but like, it'll open him up to get better shots. If that makes sense.
A question for you. Where does this Russ optimism with you come from?
It comes from, for one, obviously being a better and watching the games, and you want to believe, and I'm a Lakers fan, but like you want to believe in it. But the optimism just comes from knowing that if someone like LeBron can win, you know, with a Kyrie Irving, that everybody, since he's been gone and before LeBron came back to Cleveland, if you look at what Kyrie was a guy that pretty much puts up stats too when nobody's on the floor with him. And he's played well with other stars too. I'm not taking that away from him. But what I am taking away is just that if there's anyone that could get it out of Russ, especially with the second year to work with him, it's LeBron. And you've got to have optimism in a second year in a granted new coach, but technically still just in general, he's home. There's just a lot of storyline with it. And I just think that he's going to be better. How much better? I don't know. But I know that he'll be better.
So,
Matt, go ahead, cue up the Falcon music. Matt Ryan was significantly better in year 2.
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Look at that.
Matt Ryan was significantly better in Kyle Shanahan's offense in year 2. The first year, Matt struggled. I thought somebody was sleeping with his wife. That's how bad he was playing. And, that wasn't the case. I don't think it was. But the next year, he's an MVP and we're in the Super Bowl. So I just think that if you get a second year of getting familiar, gelling, especially with the style of play that he has versus the style that LeBron has versus the style that AD has versus the style of everybody on the floor, that was something that they were going to need to do. And I think that in a second year where they're going to be they should be healthier. That's the thought. Where they're healthier, you can expect better results overall just because of that alone.
So I think you got to put Russ in the dunker role. He needs to be the screen man. I'm not being funny. I wholeheartedly believe that. I think that if you get Russ involved in more of the action off ball, because he's not going to cut and shit. He's just not going to do that because he doesn't care about winning enough. That's how Russ downhill on a pick and roll as the roller. That still works. It still works.
He can still go to the hole.
He can.
He's got to become a better free throw shooter too, man.
I still think this Pat Bev thing. I don't know what the hell Josh was talking about saying Pat Bev can't shoot. He's a 38% 3-point shooter on his career. I think people have sports takes without references. I think they just pull shit out of their ass sometimes.
That's a Josh Holsey move, but yeah.
To my eye test, he can't shoot. Well, look, check the stats.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, I think this is a move to make Russ uncomfortable. I truly believe that. I think that this is the move before the move. I think this team, they're going to try to turn this team back into the 2020 bubble team. LeBron, AD, and some good stuff. Just some good, some good fucking shit.
But they're not going to be able to get that good fucking shit right now.
Not now. By the trade deadline between.
Taking some contracts. I thought, now look, the Miles Turner thing wasn't crazy. Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, you give him Russ his expiring contract, probably they don't really have it. You gotta throw a pick in.
Yeah.
And some stuff.
But I think with Pat Bev now, that trade becomes more real because now it makes more sense. Because without Bev, you go, I still don't have perimeter defense. We know LeBron can go.
Oh, you're saying that they'll package Bev in the deal?
No. I'm saying now that he's on the team, you go, okay, I got somebody who can guard guards.
Correct.
I know that in the playoffs, LeBron will guard a wing when he has to. Now, on a Tuesday in February, miss me.
Well, the rumor is that Austin Reeves is going to be your starting 2-guard.
AR-15, though, he wants to change his name now because of the gun violence. I think that's such bullshit. Hey, bro.
Anthony Richardson.
Look, man, y'all should be happy to have nicknames, and obviously you don't support gun violence. But if I'm a shooter, like Austin Reeves, or I'm a quarterback with a hose, nah, bro, I'm AR-15. I'm killing shit.
I'm a shooter.
Yeah, I'm killing shit. But how do you think Pat Bev and Russ gonna work in the first day of practice? Their beef isn't the normal just basketball beef. It's different.
If we got, it isn't, and that's true too. I was gonna relate it to.
That's a question for tomorrow about, like, what's the difference? Like, talk about the difference between like beef and basketball beef.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Let me add it to my list of notes.
As I say, put that down. I was gonna relate it to the AD Dwight Howard scuffle in the second game, but of course, like I said, that seemed more like a basketball. Now, everybody loved chalking it up. I don't even think the 100th anniversary, maybe the 100th anniversary team was announced before the season, but like, I don't want to chalk it up to that because I think popular opinion is that
Dwight's done more than AD to be on that team. Sorry.
Be on the team, yeah. I think that Dwight's career so far has eclipsed what even we might get out of AD, and that's just it's a strong opinion, but it's an opinion nonetheless that I'm going to continue to back. That even today, Dwight Howard's resume versus what AD might do based on career trajectory with the injuries and stuff now. I don't know if AD to me, in terms of an average-wise, guys, it doesn't mean that he doesn't still have that superstar in him, but average-wise, he's John Collins. Average-wise. The good John Collins.
What about his impact, though?
Well, his impact should be greater than John Collins because regardless, there should be so much attention being brought to him and LeBron. Even LeBron at 38, 30, whatever old he is, like attention. LeBron will always have an impact from even that standpoint of the game because it's name recognition. Like, it's just you don't leave.
Dog, like, how sickening is it, though, that AD is no longer in the conversation with Giannis, Jokic, Embiid? You know what I mean? Like, some people won't put him in the conversation with Jason Tatum, and you just look at AD, 6'11", can put the ball on the ground, can guard 1 through 5, can block shots, legit 3-level scorer outside of last year. And you go, but you're not these other guys. And why not? Like, it's not even just the street clothes shit, right? It's the why not? Because it's not like he was tall his whole life and got to be lazy and not work on his game, bro. He was 6'3", then jumped to 6'10". Like he that growth spurt happened that changed him. So he still worked hard because of the way you look at his game.
Right.
Because if you just wanted to say, hey, intangibles aside, we just say tangibles. Take away LeBron. I'm going to take away LeBron. Who should be the best player in the NBA right now? It should be Anthony Davis. He's 29 years old. And Anthony Davis or Kevin Durant, right? But Anthony Davis should be better than Kevin Durant. Anthony Davis should be 30 and 12.
I mean, Giannis.
AD is more skilled than Giannis. AD can do everything that Giannis can do.
You said Kate. So you're just saying from a pure skill standpoint.
I'm saying from a pure skill standpoint, AD with his size, his agility.
He should be hitting literally the peak of his prime.
Yes,
right?
He should be like the unicorn that Giannis is, because Giannis still can't shoot. Even when he makes shots.
And it still doesn't matter.
That shit is uncomfortable. AD should be able to do all the physical stuff Giannis does at the rim with a pure shooting stroke. Because when AD shoots, it looks like he knows how to shoot.
And we all agree, though, that AD should basically, his career comp in general, who he should be is Kevin Garnett. That's who he should be.
Better. He should be better than Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, a more elite because he should be faster.
His guard skills are better. KD could shoot. I mean, KG could shoot, but like
KG had a silky smooth 18-footer.
He did, but he didn't have the
that you always feared.
Yeah, he didn't have the pump fake, 2 dribble. Now I'm shooting.
Yeah,
like he didn't have that, and you just look at it.
But I'm talking. Think about how elite of a defender KG was too. He won a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and he over there.
Not to mention he's a top 5 shit. Not to mention he's a top Exactly. Not to mention he's a top 5 shit talker of all time. I mean,
I don't think he could talk shit with me on my best day.
KG's talking shit to anyone.
No. I didn't say he wouldn't.
Oh, you're saying
I'm saying like quality of shit talk.
Comparison. Okay.
Yeah, like in comparison, like MJ, KG, Shannon Sharp, you name a shit talker. I like me. I love me.
See, this is why we were talking, like I said, about we all are excited to get this game on. We got to get this game on.
But we got to, because there's going to be a level of shit talk that I'm going to bring to that game, and it's going to be a side of me to my friends that I don't really show.
I think, look, I'm a very competitive person too. I really am. I think it's going to come down to who the teams are. That's really what this is going to come down to. Because if I'm, like, for instance, if Josh is on the other team, I'm going straight at him. Like, that's actually who I want. Like, I want to guard him, and I want him to guard me.
Josh, I mean, I love Josh. But the way that he talks about this athletic prowess stuff, I don't like it. I don't like it. The man told me he could guard me in flag football. The man said he can guard me in basketball. And I don't like it. I don't like being talked to that way. I was hooping this weekend, and they're looking at the different teams, and they lining people up a certain way, and they go, okay, yeah, you get him. And I go, y'all serious? Like, don't get me wrong. You know how Draymond talk about playing his role?
Yeah.
When I play with shooters, I will play Draymond all day long. But you remember how Draymond went crazy in Game 7 against LeBron them when they lost?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get stupid and think that, like, because I will pass all game and do the dirty work.
Yeah, I can't put the ball in the hole too.
That I can't give you this dirty left, Lamar Odom style. Catch that rebound and get out and run.
Are you left-handed?
Yeah, dirty left.
Really?
Yeah. I go left almost every time, and people don't stop it. I can finish with my right though. I can finish with my right. I can dribble with my right now. Yeah.
I don't think I ever realized you using your left hand like that, though.
Well, we haven't done anything like athletic. We just get drunk together.
No, just even if you were writing, I guess I've never paid attention to the point.
When the fuck do I write it at your house? We get drunk.
Look, we could be out to dinner and you paid for a bill. I just don't think I've ever realized you using your left hand.
Yeah, no, I'm a dirty lefty. Don't tell Justice, because we're supposed to play Saturday morning.
Some people say that I'm a left-handed right-hand person because I hold the pencil a certain kind of way.
You have one of them.
I don't write like this. I do not write like that. But yeah, I know I do put it in between my fingers. It's just the way I write. It's the way
my wife got me these for Christmas.
Oh, what are those? Those expensive ones that come in a case?
Yeah, and it says "Big Baby the Goat."
They almost look like sunglasses.
Yeah,
like what it comes in. Like
I write my podcast notes with like my custom pins for my wife because she's great. Hey, before we get to chat real quick, man, I'm so happy. I'm happy to be joining the Girl Dad Club, man.
Welcome, bro. Matter of fact, yeah, I didn't know if you were gonna bring that up on here, but
yeah. Like Girl Dad.
Welcome to the Girl Dad Club. It's not as exclusive anymore, but
bro, our whole damn near all my friends have girls. You, Jew, Marv, Cam, my partner VJ from Cartersville.
No, Canty.
Yeah, Canty. Yeah, he got a girl. I can't think of anybody else. My cousin. He just had a daughter. I'm godfather. We dedicating that baby Labor Day weekend. He got a girl. And I go, damn, almost everybody around me having girls.
We're repopulating this earth, you know.
And dog, I'm just so happy and excited about it. Like I told the wife today, I'm like, I said, go ahead and add to the registry a soccer net, a little kid soccer ball, and a basketball goal. Indoctrination. And it's not even about being a good athlete. It's about the life skills that you learn in team sports. Because, it's really unfortunate for women that sports kind of ends for them after high school. Like if you don't play college ball, it's over with. Like you and I can join an adult men's league, or we can just go to a gym and play pickup. When the last time you seen 10 girls, 10 women playing pickup?
You never will.
That's why the WNBA doesn't work, because y'all don't love the sports the way that we do.
Exactly, and we support it. And hell, you guys would have even less notoriety. Like yesterday, I saw Ja Morant was at the WNBA game yesterday. It was Dallas Wings and Connecticut Sun.
How much you think Adam Silver put in his account for him to show up? 250.
At least, yeah. I was even going to say 500, and that be on some. That's a complete payment of. Now you're going to show up to. Ain't just for this. We're not just paying for one game. We need you to show your face a few different times.
So
they play again. I need you to be there and act like you're the biggest fan of the team. Okay.
I mean, because it's just so different for them and us, right?
Well, here's the thing, too, what I will say. Now, in his case, that game was in Dallas, and Memphis doesn't have a women's WNBA team. But at the same time, imagine it like how when we played varsity. The girls always played before us, right?
Yeah, you watch them.
We would always watch. So, like, I feel like on their end, they do fuck with them because they hoopers, too. They not them, but they hoopers, and they're still the girl hoopers. So I feel like for them, it's a wave of nostalgia from a sense of we used to watch the girls play anyways, and they're because especially if you're John Morant, because you love basketball so much.
And here's what I don't want people to, when I talk about the WNBA, right? I'm critical of
not as good of a product. And we know
I'm critical of the TV product. I'm not critical of the basketball players themselves. Like, hey, it's not a great TV product for many reasons. Excuse me, but I remember living in San Diego, hooping at SDSU. The best hoop would be when basketball season was over, and you would have the football players who played basketball in high school. You would have the girls basketball players who are now in their off season, so they can go play pickup. And that would be some of the best run. You know what I mean? Because, right, you catch a 5'9" girl who can step back and dribble through contact. Well, she's better. She's more skilled than most dudes. She just lacks athleticism. Like I got a homegirl, Christy. Shout out to Christy. When we were in Bahrain, skill-wise, she was like the best hooper there. She just couldn't get the separation. And when she got the separation, you could make up for it with length. But as far as like running point guard, not getting ripped, getting you in the offense, putting people in place, and cussing people out for fucking up.
Right.
She could do that. And unless you wheeled out like a team full of just crazy athletes, she could still guard somebody. Because there's somebody out there who, just not as athletic. So when I talk shit about the WNBA, it's never about the basketball players. It's about the product. But, it's something about the love of the game. And you talked about Ja's love for the game. And I think the love for the game is actually going to hurt NBA players moving forward because Chet's done for the season. And Chet got hurt playing in one of the most highly,
it's only because Braun was on the floor too.
Televised, recognized pro-ams of the year. Braun decides to go to the crossover. Jamal Crawford has been doing the crossover for years. People from that area have played in it for years. Chet.
Was that what DeJounte and because they're both Seattle.
DeJounte and Paolo was playing in it. Like they were in that game.
This is more. Oh, they were in that game too.
Bro, DeJounte, Paolo, Jason Tatum, IT, Chet, Braun, and a couple of people we don't know.
You sound like Jordan in the Dream Team documentary, the one that Lou Young just did, which really you should pull that clip up low key. This nigga, he had Jordan. He's like Barkley, Bird, Robinson, me, well, and then like, but this is the way you just ran through the names.
Well, so, and it's really unfortunate that Paolo got hurt, Liz Frank injury. It kind of, tall people have bad feet.
Yeah.
I mean, humans aren't meant to be Chet Holmgren's height, and they're especially not meant to be his size, his height and weight. Like, that's not normal. He's 190 pounds. I got on the scale yesterday. I was 194. I'm 5'11. He's 7'2. He's supposed to weigh more, but if you look at his shoulders and his waist, you go, where the weight's gonna go? What the fuck are we putting this weight at?
Hey, look, KD was skinny as fuck, Giannis. And Justice wanted to bring up the whole white black thing. For that reason, in a sense of just how niggas are. Gosh, I hate. I don't want to mess this stuff up by using certain words, but the point is how the gene pool could be specifically superior, I guess, is really what he was trying to say. That's what I take away from it.
I would say that we are.
That's the difference.
I would say like our physical capabilities. Hey, here's how we paint it up. Our physical capabilities, based upon our evolution, especially into America, created a human being who was suited to have broader shoulders, bigger hips, thicker thighs, bigger trunks that allowed us to carry more weight at taller heights.
Right.
That's the way I tried to clean it up so that we don't sound like we're saying white people have shitty bodies. Because there's some country ass white boys who have, them cornbread eating.
Hey,
the boys that play at Nebraska and Notre Dame.
Brian Reeves played in the NBA, and his nickname was Big Country.
You know what? It's this guy named DJ Sargenti, and he played linebacker at the Naval Academy back in the day. He's one of the most athletic white boys I've ever been around. Like, playing basketball with him, like, step through, chest up, fade away, all in one fluid motion, and you go, I've never seen this athleticism in white skin before. You know what I mean? Not like a Tyler Hero who's like a skinny shooter with handle. He was more like a physical but could jump type, quick first step guy. Like all the nigga attributes, just not nigga skin. It was weird. It was like, I don't say it was weird. It was different to see. I'd never seen it before.
There are definitely, that's a question for tomorrow as well. Who was the most impressive player you saw in high school? But
let me add that to the list. I have a list of questions, by the way.
Well, this is the great part about us, because we all played Georgia high school basketball. And we're practically the same era, but you guys had your top player in your class. I had mine. Like, who was the top player in the state of Georgia in 2010? Was it Ryan Harrow?
Ryan Harrow, Trey Golden. You had Kenty Cloth Pope.
Yeah. Contavious Cole. Pope was the top guy in our class, but his team blew. Like, it blew.
Where'd he go? Miller Grove? No.
I forgot. He went to a private school, but that's how I knew, because he went to a bad he played on a bad team. Like, he would have been an example of us, the teams that we played. We would have played against his team, and he could have been great. He might have dropped 35 on us, but we might have still beat them by 20. So, because
just
wasn't talented.
Hey, the trainer shooting coach from Mount Vernon?
Who? What's his name?
I'll look it up in a second. I'm trying to see.
If he's there now, and that's his role now, I don't know.
He's a younger guy, because some of my young boys posted him.
He could be. I mean, I might. That's what I'm saying. I might know who it is. It depends. It depends.
Dang, I can't even. I don't want to go to ESPN. Was it Rivals? Is Rivals still a thing? Bro, do you remember like
Rivals is now 24/7 Sports. The same guy that started Rivals is the one that does that.
24? Do you remember sitting on Rivals all day for no reason?
Yeah, well, yeah. Hell, I always wanted my name to be on it, you know?
You know, I did too at one point in my life. I really did. And no, let me see. Who took over Rise? Was it Rise.com? GA Varsity. I don't even know how to use these websites anymore because I don't use them. Because I remember you could do on Scout.com, you could do like the state recruitings, but Scout is ran by somebody else.
Rivals, I think, is still up, but 24/7 is the guy that does 24/7. That is Rivals.
Yeah, 24/7 is the thing that matters, and I'm just trying to get to Georgia 2010 basketball recruiting. Jesus, the offense all around me every day. I give up. It's taking too much work. Dang, who was the basketball player? 2010 was like a weak class. I mean, nationally, we had Kyrie. That's about it.
John Wall was the year before.
Yeah. But in Georgia,
who went number 1 in 2010 in the NBA draft? Or I guess technically
John Wall. Hold on.
No, 2011. I mean, who's the top freshman? Here, I'll pull it up too.
Good question. Hold on. I'm gonna call my. Hey, Rue. Hey, you on the pod real quick? Who was the top prospect in Georgia our senior year? Basketball.
Georgia?
Yeah. I was trying to think of it at the top of my head. I couldn't think of it because I didn't think it was nobody.
Well, Kyrie Irving's you guys' class. Well, that's not Georgia.
Jelon. Dude named Jelon.
Jerron?
Jelon.
Where did he go?
With the Memphis. You were with Barton and all them.
Okay, because I was like, because Pierce was like, he said Harrow, and I was like, Harrow wasn't.
Well, Harrow
was up there.
The popular one.
Yeah,
and
remember Ryan Harrow went to Kentucky before he went to NC State. Ryan Harrow was he was the guy, but Ryan Harrow had all the fucking hoop mixtape. Like his shit was all over the place.
Jerron made both the McDonald's and the Jordan game.
So Jerron made McDonald's and Jordan.
He went to Wheeler. Kansas.
That makes sense.
And there's right, and Ryan Harrow went to. Did he go to Wheeler too? Or I know he was at Walton.
Out of Georgia?
Yeah, our class was weak.
Well, I see Kyrie was the top overall. He probably was the top overall. Kyrie's y'all's class. Yeah. So Kyrie might be the top overall player that year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm talking about even in high school he had to have been.
Hey, that's all I want.
He played like 7 games at Duke.
Yeah, our class was weak. Especially in the state. But yeah, Kyrie was
the McDonald's All-Americans now. Jalen Kendrick is y'all's class. My buddy Latana, he works out with him.
Okay.
He's Wheeler. That might have been who he was talking about. Jalen Kendrick.
Probably.
Might have been the top guy. Let me see. He's the only guy on here with his hometown listed for the 2010 McDonald's All-American from Georgia. So that's who he's talking about. He's talking about Jalen Kendrick.
Was Latana in your class?
Go to Memphis. This guy did go to Memphis.
That's probably who he's talking about. I don't know. I knew our class was not great.
Yeah, Kyrie. Let me see. I'm just going through the McDonald's All-American.
Was Tobias our class?
So I'll go through it. Terrence Jones, you remember him at Kentucky?
Yep.
Corey Joe, Toronto. He went to Findlay Prep in Texas. Brandon Knight. Actually, Brandon Knight was probably the top player. Now that I think about it, Brandon Knight was probably the top player.
I think it was Kyrie because Kyrie only played 9 games at Duke.
But I'm saying even in high school, Brandon Knight was actually probably the top overall player was probably Brandon Knight.
Okay.
Tristan Thompson, Fab Melo. I remember him at Syracuse.
R.I.P.
Deron Lamb. And Lamb, here's the thing. Oh, no. It's not the same Lamb. I was going to say Lamb was
about Jeremy Lamb who went to Norcross.
Yeah, he's from Georgia. Yeah. And I think he's your class too. But he just might not have been a McDonald's All-American. Harrison Barnes was definitely one of the top players.
Yes. I forgot about Dirty Harry.
Yeah, because he went to UNC. and he was from Iowa. And it was like, why is a nigga from Iowa like one of the best players? Jalen Kendrick, though, that's CJ Leslie. I remember him and
I remember his name.
Him and John Wall had a crazy state. They're North Carolina guys. Kyrie, Tobias Harris is that class. So is Jarrett Sullinger and Reggie Bullock.
Yeah, we had a weak ass class. Jeremy Lamb is looked like he was class of 2010.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because we used to train with them because he was a Georgia star. So my brother played with Bo Bell, the guy's the head of the Stars. I mean, we used to train with him downtown, like during summers. We'd go to.
I thought Norman Parker ran the Stars.
Norman Parker, the white guy, is the one that runs it, but Bo Bell is typically coaches the 17-year-old team that is at Peach Jam and shit, like the team. He's the coach. But Norman Parker is the guy. We met Norman Parker.
I low-key want to go to Peach Jam.
It's funny, before tomorrow's interview stuff, and he was a lot younger, but his dad, of course, knows. And I hope his dad ends up coming. But, even if he doesn't, they'll be able to talk about that stuff. Because when we were young, bro, we used to know there was a lot of shicey stuff that used to go on.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm hoping we can get at least an hour tomorrow. Because I don't want to talk about the cool stuff that may even get us viral. And I know that sounds terrible for what we're building. But, there's just so many other, more important conversations. But, hey, we've killed an hour. I think we need to talk college football because that's the point of this pod, right?
Yes.
So
let's dive in. Fuck it.
So I got a question for you. Who runs college football? And when I say who runs, right? We know that Roger Goodell runs the NFL. The owners, they say a lot. They do a lot. They pay for it. But at the end of the day, Roger Goodell runs that league. And nothing happens in that league that Roger Goodell doesn't sign off on, which is why they leaked all that information about wanting to suspend Deshaun for the season, and it was 11 games. Roger was okay with 11 games, I promise you. He just didn't want to be the scapegoat. Who runs college football?
Sankey.
So you think the SEC commissioner runs college football?
Yeah, I do. What would make you think he doesn't?
I think that Fox and ESPN, or ABC do.
Yeah, but don't they work hand in hand? Well, they've already talked about just moving these new leagues out of the NCAA. And I know that that's TV you're saying, but I'm just simply saying.
Well, I think
who's the one that's directly, if they're at the NCAA, then who's doing the negotiation?
I think that TV runs college. I think TV runs college football because the reason why the conferences are starting to align because of the TV deals. We're losing the SEC on CBS. We're losing that. That's going to ESPN.
Uh-huh.
And again, because of the money that they're giving the conferences, that's what's causing conference realignment. That's what caused Maryland to end up in the Big Ten, conference realignment. The networks trying to expand their reach, and college football has gone from a regional sport built on regional rivalries to trying to turn it into a national product, and that is built on the desires of the TV network. So I think Fox and ESPN or ABC or Disney, you name who you ever want ESPN to be,
Google,
China,
Disney.
That's who runs college football. And I think that college football is going to make a pivot that is going to make more money. It's going to bring in a more national audience, but it's going to disenfranchise the true fans of college football. Because I know, we like college football. We watch it. We're Georgia fans. But you and I, we're not college football fans. We are not. No. We are not the motherfuckers who call it the Paul Feinbaum. We're not diehards.
Because my focus is more on the NFL.
As it should be, because you're an adult.
And the NBA. Those are the two things I know like the back of my hand.
Yeah, they're better products.
They're better products, there's more money in it, which is why it's a better product because
it's easier to bet. Like, look at the college football. You look at those lines, you go,
well, week by week in college football, games are easy to bet, but because here's the issue with the NBA specifically. There's more games, right? But like, a team will go out, man. They'll just sit LeBron, AD. They'll sit the Lakers. They'll sit them. They'll play against give me a bad team. They'll play against the Washington Wizards. Obviously, Brad Beal's already out because now that seems to be his moniker. He's the out guy. When you're the it boy, he's the out guy. And so, so let's just say the Lakers play them one night, but they sit LeBron and AD, and then it's Russ versus the Wizards. And then it's like, all right, they set the line. It's in Washington. They set the line to Washington plus 3.5. They make it to where it's impossible to bet on because you're just like, well, the Lakers be playing like dog shit, but at the same time, I don't trust Kyle Kuzma to win me games. And I guess now they got Monte Morris and who else was it that they got from Denver? Somebody else. But point being, I guess my thing with running the college football aspect, I look at the SEC commissioner, Sankey. I think that Commissioner Sankey is who, at the end of the day, has the most clout in college football. College football is ran by what the SEC does. Once the SEC decide to add Oklahoma and Texas, what happens next?
Boomer shooter.
Once they add those, what do we hear the very next year? Well, we're the Big Ten. We're going to add USC because we're going to get the California and UCLA because we want California eyeballs.
Guess what? Nobody gives a fuck about UCLA.
Who cares? It's still the LA market. They got the market, and that's
I know. I'm speaking from a football point of view.
I know what you're doing, but I'm just simply saying, at the end of the day, they ended up getting that, and that's what matters. And if they were smart, because who was it? It's those two, and who else? They're adding 4, right?
Well, you talking about the SEC or Big Ten?
Big Ten.
There's rumors that Phil Knight is putting his dick on the table. He's probably telling some of these schools, hey, if you want Nike at the rate at which you're getting it, you cut me in.
Well, and here's the thing, though. That'd be a good move for the Big 12. If you're going to go ahead and get UCLA and USC, add Oregon. And then Utah would be the most ideal. I think Utah should go to the Pac-12. Because now geographics won't matter that much, I guess. But let's go ahead and do that. And then why not do this? Everybody was already talking about the SEC wants to add. They had said North Carolina. I don't know why they wouldn't just do Duke because then you keep the basketball.
But, those are – and I heard something – I listened to something today. Those are more Big Ten schools because of their academic focus.
Kick Northwestern out and add Kansas.
The Big Ten cares about academics. I don't know why, but they care. Hey, you want to talk conference realignment? Because I got a map up here.
Into it.
I've got a map that's been up here for a long time. Did I send you the map?
You sent me pictures of the list.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk through my 16-team conference list because it's not literally on a map.
So the Big Ten can't. I don't think Kansas is. Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, Lee, but I don't think that. I'm just looking at the Big Ten. Obviously, Notre Dame is the most ideal person to add, but they've got their own TV contract, and clearly Texas. I don't know how Texas is doing it, but there's going to be something to where that works. Plus, Texas's contract was with ESPN anyways, which is the SEC's contract,
which is why they came over.
Even though CBS always gets the big late afternoon game with the SEC.
Yeah, and I
think that might be ending soon.
It is, and ESPN's getting that game. So the Big Ten is going all in on Fox because they don't want to be the little brother to the SEC at ESPN.
They could easily take, even traditional wise. First of all, Nebraska is somebody they can go back to the Big 12.
I guess
they were recently added. You cut them out. You cut Illinois out. Put them in the Big 12. and you already are adding.
Let me read the list to you, and I'm gonna and you respond.
Go.
You got a copy. Pull it up.
Go.
So the SEC, I'm just calling it the South Conference, the Southern Conference.
Okay.
We got UGA, Bama, Ole Miss, Clemson, Kentucky, LSU, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, UNC, Duke, UVA, Louisville, Florida State, Miami, NC State.
So Vanderbilt's out.
Yes.
Okay.
I got them. So I got them.
That's the one thing that they do for the SEC. Academically, we know Vanderbilt. We know the name in general, the Vanderbilts, the people themselves. Like, that is kind of their prized possession academic school in that conference. I mean, Georgia's a good school. Auburn's a good school.
Good public schools, yeah, but Vandy is the Harvard of the South.
Exactly. It's on its own level. I couldn't see them not being in it, but I get it. And I would probably
speaking from a Greg Sankey point of view.
You're going to put Duke and North Carolina are academic schools.
Their basketball brings us money, though.
If you're going to take out anything that you had on your list and put Vandy back in, you're taking NC State out. Because Wake Forest isn't even in it, right?
No, so
and then you didn't put Tech in it, so
listen to my East Conference, right? My East Division. I got
at that point they're even divisions.
They're pretty much divisions, big divisions.
And then wait, you said Oklahoma and Texas, right?
No, they're in my Southwest.
Oh, we'll see.
So in my East, I got Indiana, Vatech, Wake Forest, Boston College, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Vandy, University of South Carolina, Columbia, Rutgers, Northwestern, Memphis. I can't even read this shit.
I'd realign it a little bit differently.
I got Navy, Army, UCF, USF, and Temple. The East, that's the throwaway. We don't care about them. Now let's go Southwest. I know. The East is weak.
I'm literally swallowing all the words you're giving me, and I'm just trying to regurgitate it on my own. Go.
I know it's hard. So Southwest, I'm going to go Baylor, Oklahoma State, OU, Boomer fucking Sooner, Houston, Arkansas, A&M, Mississippi State, Texas, Kansas State, TCU, Texas Tech, SMU, Nebraska, Colorado, and Air Force.
Oh, and see the Air Force, Colorado. Go ahead. Go through the other ones.
Midwest, I'm going Michigan, Cincy, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, Purdue, Missouri. Oh, shit, I don't even know what that is. VT. Oh, I fucked up. I don't know what that VT is. UT. I don't remember.
I mean, it has to be because you didn't name Texas in the other one.
I didn't put.
They're not in the South.
No, I put Texas in the Southwest.
Oh.
I don't remember. I can't read what 11 is. Sorry, guys. 12 is Iowa, 13 Iowa State, 14 Penn State, 15 Northwestern, 16 Pitt. Oh, shit, I got Northwestern in 2 spots. I fucked up. You know what? I did this 3 months ago. Lastly, the West, Utah, BYU, Oregon, Utah State, SDSU, Fresno, USC, UCLA, Stanford, Cal, Arizona State, Arizona, Washington, UNLV, Oregon State, Washington State.
I don't think anyone's mad at that list.
I don't think anyone is except for the people in the – I think everyone's mad at the Eastern Conference because if you're going to give out an automatic bid, they're going to have some inflated records from some shitty schools. But I think they are looked at like the ACC is now. You have to have a Clemson type or the Florida State under Jimbo type teams to get out of there and people respect it. Like I think a 2-loss team out of the South, Midwest, West, or Southwest, either one of those goes further than a 1-loss team out of the East.
Agreed. I think it just all comes down to you did it geographically.
Yeah, it was straight
More so
geographic.
than not. Geographically. I think that there's a couple of different ways that you can go with it. For one, I look at this. Let's look at the Power 5. They clearly are trying to swallow definitely one out, if not two. It's just a matter of how they're going to be able to do it. Notre Dame is, as Pat Bev would say, the Kevin Durant of it. We kind of need to know what they want to do because they're weird. Basketball, they're in the ACC, so they already have a working relationship with that conference, but they're in the heart of the Big Ten. They make a ton of sense to, of course, go to the Big Ten. It makes too much sense.
They should be in the Big Ten. They just don't want to split that money.
Michigan's a rival. USC's a rival. Those are rivals. Those are rival games for Notre Dame. Makes a lot. Even though I guess Stanford's 1-2. I don't know. Like
they're not good anymore.
But that's okay. That's okay. You do it this way. This is how I would do it. Now I'm not going to run through all the teams, but with the SEC as currently constructed and what we know is coming in, you got Texas and OU coming in. I'm probably just going to pick up Duke and UNC. I want to add Miami. I want to add Florida State. And it only geographically at that point, if you do that too, you want to add Georgia Tech. Why not? Because you want that game to still go on. But
you're not losing. You're not making money with.
Yeah,
Georgia
you can
Tech.
still do the. Well, they can still do the out-of-conference rivalry game too, for what it's worth. South Carolina always will get Clemson, but Clemson might be in the SEC. That's another thing. It just depends on how you want to do it. But this is how I would do it. As currently constructed, they have to kick some teams out too. Like Missouri gets kicked out. I think I keep Vandy just to be the slappy, literally to be the slappy of the conference. And academics. Keep them, kick out Missouri, and we're going to add 2 more to make it 16. So you add 2 more to make it 16 plus the replacement for Missouri. These are my 3.
Okay.
Duke, UNC, because you're getting the basketball being the biggest part of it, and probably Florida State or Clemson. Actually, Clemson. It's going to be hard to do it regardless. Like it's hard.
You know, the 10
the
to 12
ACC can stay alive, but the ACC's got to, in a weird way, almost
become
have
the Big East.
They have to take away like Kansas and be like, well, then we'll just be the basketball conference.
ACC should become what the Big East used to be.
The East, yeah.
Give me the basketball schools.
The Atlantic East Conference.
Yeah.
AEC.
Yeah. Or you know what they should call it? The basketball conference. Who cares what they call it? Like, what does Big 12 actually mean? What does Big 10 mean?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. So where do you want to go here? You want to talk NIL or you want to talk Bama and Saban?
I want to talk Bama and Saban because we want to talk about what matters. NILs matter, but they don't matter once the whistles are blowing and the tailgates.
Blow the whistle. Yeah, I can't whistle. I know I did that on purpose. But Bama, Saban said they were having a rebuilding year last year. And we got into a pretty heated debate in the group text. I don't know if you were involved in that, but I know Justice was, who I'm actually about to call. Because he was standing on like, no, Alabama was rebuilding. And then I listened to Saban again on Dan Patrick, and he goes, every year we're rebuilding because we lose players. And I go, so Nick, you said some hot take shit. Like Nick is going to be great on TV because he knows how to make a hot take and then bring it back down when people hot take respond to it. Like he'll be so rational about it. He was actually on Colin today, and I just didn't get to hour 3. But I feel like when we talk college ball,
What up?
hey, who's you're on the pod, man? We're talking college ball right now.
Whoop, whoop.
And we're talking about Saban saying last year was a rebuilding year and how they're going to rebuild Bama. And, I call bullshit because when you got 4 and 5 stars comprising 80% of your team, I don't really think you're ever rebuilding. But I know you have a different view on it, and you're more in tune with the college guys than I am. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, because when you go to the national.
So my question to you and your listeners would be,
when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson left LSU, was the following year a rebuilding year?
Is
Or
LSU
no?
Alabama?
Because
Is LSU
well,
Alabama?
LSU gets. Whoa, hold, excuse me, sir. Parlay.
Doesn't LSU have a new coach already?
Well, Orgeron was the coach after the following season. So
okay,
they get LSU reloads on talent. They reload. They get 4 and 5 star guys too. Okay, and I think whenever there's one player might not be enough. I think, in my opinion, whenever there's a new quarterback coming in, the guy who leads the team, it's a new regime. And to me, it's a new regime and it's a rebuild. Is that, in my opinion?
Okay.
In my opinion. So it's a handing of the torch, and I don't know why. And I'm not out. I don't know why people fail to understand that. But yes, in my opinion, that is a rebuild. If you're giving the reins to your program to a guy that has not started a game or isn't experienced as a starter, it's a rebuild.
But what if that rebuild, like last year, and the guy who takes over wins the Heisman? Sometimes you rebuild, and when you're working on your house, right? A flood hits it or a storm hits it, and you rebuild up or one part of your house, and you go, well, shit, I got this emergency money. I got more money than I had when I originally built it, so I built back something better. Yes, a rebuild, but it's better.
Well, it's like when you break a bone. It grows back stronger.
Exactly. Mike Vick, after he broke his leg, he came back stronger for Philly, not us.
Right. Well, yeah, he came back a lot stronger, and he was a way better quarterback. But I don't know, gentlemen. Look, I'm no expert, but again, that's what constitutes as a rebuild, in my opinion, right? I mean, and I understand that essentially Bryce Young's a 5-star. The wide receivers coming in, they're 4 and 5 stars. I understand the team's loaded, but there are some 3-star guys on Alabama. Don't get it twisted. They exist. Yeah, I promise you they do.
Blake Sims was a 3-star who went to Alabama. He started there and he set a record for passing touchdowns that was broken shortly thereafter.
Yeah. I don't know what this kid is, Jahmyr Gibbs, the kid that's coming over from Georgia Tech this year, but he's the starting running back. And this kid didn't do much at Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech is a running pro. They run the ball at Tech. And this is a kid that had 700 yards rushing and 5 rushing touchdowns.
And a bad line.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's still for a running school, that's still a bit concerning.
I mean, yeah, my man Ricky Dobbs, he get more than 700 yards in the season. Hey, Parlay Pete, that's an easy interview. We can knock that out whenever we want to. He's back in that area too.
Oh, all right. So it was down. Now,
yeah, we can get him for 3 hours too.
I'm sitting here in the group.
Oh yeah, we talked about these 40 times.
Well, because I said, and because I know everybody's like, well, that was 10 years ago. Because that's what Josh had brought up about Nico, right? And not to cut this into our podcast here, but but just, I guess, to give the viewers some insight. Basically, basketball is the initial conversation, but now we're getting into who's fastest. And
I'm going to win.
I think that if we all went back to high school, there's no way I don't finish in the top 3 of everybody in that group running together. There's no way I don't. Seriously.
I just know I'm dissing all y'all niggas.
I don't know how fast you guys are, but I know that I'm fast. I know that for a fact. It's certainly in that time I was fast.
I've heard nothing but promising things about your game, Lee, and I respect the gentleman in the locker room. I have respect for him, but they've seen you play. I haven't seen you play, and obviously anyone going into a battle is never going to think that their opponent is going to beat them. But based off the things I've heard, I mean, and I'm not afraid, but I'm definitely, I think I might be underestimating you based off of what I've heard.
That happens sometimes. And the thing about these sports things is people like to talk about what happened in high school. But the thing is, we damn near all of us are 10 years removed from high school.
Yes.
So bodies have changed, interests have changed. You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
I play flag football annually. I play pickup basketball and men's league basketball like every year. So me in the sports thing, like I'm just closer to it than most people. Now, 10 years ago, some of y'all niggas may be able to get me.
Well, Lee, here's the thing.
But I like me.
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
As you should. And here's the thing. That's why now when I've been going to the gym, I go to the gym. I told you this. I told Josh that I was going to do it because I literally have every single time I've gone. I take jump shots, 30 minutes of shooting the ball. If nothing else, I will shoot the ball for 30 minutes because I said I'm going to be ready that day. That day, I'm going to be ready. It won't be I will still want to warm up, of course, but
no. We're gonna I'm not doing nothing without a warm up.
We're not waking up after drinking and doing it. Nope. That day that we do it, it's gonna be a sober day for Pierce until after the game.
Like I'm all about I don't know if I'll go that far because I play pickup on Saturday mornings, but I'm gonna warm up. But I'm also on the jump rope. I'm box jumping. Like I'm doing all the stuff because when we play this game of like the locker room, I'm trying to catch a body. Like just as our one-on-one game, it's gonna be mid-range DeMar DeRozan, baby. That's what I'm going for. But when we play the locker room game, I'm trying to catch a nigga slipping. And I know I feel like if I give Pierce the finger up, he's gonna put it close enough to the rim for me to go try to grab it.
Right.
And I really want to dunk on Josh. Like, all this goes back to just fucking over Josh. Like, it used to be me and Justice having this one-on-one game over a basketball argument, but now it's really I just want to shit on Josh athletically. And I feel like
it makes sense.
And I feel like Pierce is right there with me. Like, it's really about just shitting on Josh athletically because
Josh is acting like because he lifts weights or, like I said, look, you guys, y'all are on military. There are military.
Josh sits in the fucking cockpit all day, man.
There are things that you have to do. Yeah. But my thing is this. I'm not saying that, you get into 3 months worth of shape, you're ready to do something. But what I am saying is that just in general, it's just like, well, look, we're not going to disrespect you to the point at where, let me tell you, I'm trying to think of an NBA player that doesn't even look as healthy, but it's just like, let's stop acting. I'm not an NBA player, but like, it's a similar thing just in a sense of, well, let's stop acting like the person doesn't know how to do it.
Lou Williams, he's older. His first step ain't what it used to be.
I'm talking about somebody like Shaq, for instance. Shaq is not a player that was skilled in terms of shooting the ball or something. But I'm just saying, let's stop acting like if Shaq didn't want to fucking get in the gym, that he couldn't still, even with somebody athletic, and maybe because of pure size, he don't still know his moves. Like once he gets that muscle memory where he can move the ball a certain way, and he already knows somebody else that either didn't do it or is younger than him wouldn't get faked out still.
Well, I mean, it's just like people going to work out with Dream and people going to work out with Kareem. Like, there's value in working out with them at this age because athletically, can they do it? No.
But skill-wise, more than even those two.
Right. Do I think Hot Sauce could shake somebody in the league right now?
Yeah.
Now, will he score? Probably not. Too little. Can't shoot.
Right.
But I think overall, outside of myself, there's a dismissal of everyone else's athletic ability in this group from Josh Holsey. And I don't think he has the pelts on the wall to just dismiss people's athleticism like that.
Oh, the pelts?
Yeah, you don't have the pelts on the wall to be like, hey, Adam, I can guard you in one-on-ones and you won't catch a ball. And I'm like, Deion Sanders can guard Jerry Rice in one-on-ones and Jerry Rice is going to catch a ball. We're talking about the best corner and the best wideout ever. You know what?
I love that terminology.
No, I mean, sometimes you have great coverage and you get beat. My last play of flag football, I pulled my hamstring. I had great coverage. I was right there. And you know what? Quarterback dropped the ball in the bucket, and that little young son of a bitch caught it. And we wrestled to the ground with the ball, and he came up with it. And I go, you know what? I was there. Better throw, better catch. Sometimes
It happened.
luck's just not on your side. Like, you just get beat.
Right.
And that's what it boils down to, man. But hey, Hoos, you want to talk some more college football with us? We're gonna talk a little NIL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here.
So, I'm all about the players getting paid, and I think NIL was like the band-aid for players getting paid. It's like, hey, we're gonna allow outside agencies to pay them, but Nick Saban gets $11 million a year, and his players get nothing from the institution. And now USC has a booster who's pretty much creating salaries for the players, and the school's against it, but they can't do anything about it. And I think this is going to be what happens in NIL, is that the boosters who care about the program more than the coaches do, because they gave their blood, sweat, and tears to OU football. Boomer Sooner!
Boomer Sooner, baby.
Yeah, I'm just going to be yelling Boomer Sooner until I make my decision. But nonetheless, like, you have these boosters who invest into these programs, and they go, you know what? We don't have rules. Let's give these guys a salary. We're going to give every guy a salary. And then the coaches are going to be like, no, well, we don't want that because we may not want that guy after 1 year. And they're like, well, no, you know what? Fuck you. I pay your salary too. So the boosters are going to take over, and they're going to become the Jerry Joneses. And we'll never know how well Jason Garrett can coach because he won't ever get to coach his team. Am I crazy for thinking that?
No, I don't think you're crazy. Again, I think NIL is a great thing in terms of, kids, especially ones from low income families, having an opportunity to obviously showcase their skills, show why they're, prove why they're draft worthy. But at the same time, I mean, some of them, I mean, some of these kids aren't, I mean, let me not say they're not deserving, but I mean, there are teams, like, there are whole teams getting deals. Like, and there are kids with deals who are not going to even touch the field.
And that's where I'm at with it. You know what I say? I won't say you're not deserving of receiving money, but I'll say there are kids who are getting money who would not get my money if I was involved with the program.
Right.
Because I'd be the booster who goes, I give you $50K condition. I'll give you $50K your freshman year just so you can get you some clothes, get you some jewelry, get you a decent car. But if you want the big money, incentive laden deal, baby. Like, I'm sorry, I'm putting incentives in that thing. Ain't no fucking 19-year-old about to fleece me out of $300,000 to never touch the field. That's crazy. I don't care.
Correct.
I don't care if I'm Jeff Bezos. I'm not getting fleeced by a fucking 19-year-old who doesn't know shit about shit.
Well, and then the question is, what happens if these kids get injured? I mean, and we see it with, and I'll have to go double back, and I encourage your listeners to double back. But from my understanding, when you sign a deal, you're getting that money for the life of your college career, from my understanding. I could be wrong, but from my understanding, when what's the gentleman who got the Dr. Pepper commercial, Trevor's successor?
DJ, whose last name I won't try to say because I'm racist.
Yep, DJ Uyunglele. DJ got paid all that money, and it hasn't panned out for him. But from what I believe I read the other day, he's still getting paid by Dr. Pepper. Whether they use him or not, he's still getting paid by them.
Sometimes you make bad business deals, like Baker Mayfield and his endorsement deals. It's like, this is money thrown in the shitter. But at least,
you're right about that.
But at least with Baker, he proved at his level, right? He proved at the highest level.
Second job, didn't he?
He was good, huh?
So he just won a second job
over Sam Darnold, who sucks.
Hey, he still won it, didn't he?
I mean, Some, you know, when Sha'Carri Richardson got suspended for weed, somebody still won the women's 100.
Well, look.
Yeah, and she got paid. She made more money than the girl who probably won the 100.
Oh, no, Sha'Carri won by getting caught for smoking weed and not actually going out there getting her ass kicked the way she has been in every other race. Like,
literally, she's a one-hit wonder.
You know, he's like the girls at Tennessee, you know, prettier.
Are we talking about big Dom Ina?
We are talking about Don Iverson.
Bro, I remember. Let's talk about that clip real quick. I'm sorry. Hey, we're talking about just random shit, but what I remembered about that Don Imus clip, I go, I'm not saying he should have said this on the radio, but because he said it on the radio, I'm going to consume it and I'm going to laugh at it.
Well, the funny thing is on YouTube, if you go back to the clip, everybody in the comments essentially says, you know, this is actually funny as fuck. But I guess the thing is that, you know, he did use the word, I think, hoe. It's crazy. It's the nappy-headed.
Hey, here goes.
Bro, why are you calling college bitches hoes?
It's like nappy-headed hoes there. I'm going to tell you that now. Man, that's some... And the girls from Tennessee, they all look cute, you know, so... like kind of like the, you know, Spike Lee thing. Yeah. Jigaboos versus the Wannabes. Yeah, that movie that he had. Yeah, it was a tough do the right thing. I don't know if I'd have wanted to beat Rutgers or not, but they did, right? On Friday, I apologize.
Bro, I don't think he should have said that. It wasn't in that clip. He compared him to the Toronto Raptors. I don't know if y'all remember that piece, but you know, that was funny. It was racially insensitive. Probably shouldn't be said by a white man. But it speaks to his understanding of black culture because he used the words properly in context. He said nappy-headed hoes. That's some shit that we would say. And I remember Bill Maher caught flack because one of these Midwestern politicians said to him one day, he was like, hey, Bill, you should just join us in the fields, you know? He goes, the fields? I'm a house nigga. And Bill Maher, as a white man, should not say that on HBO. Should not say that.
Right.
But the use of it, I go, I know exactly what that nigga's saying. And that shit's funny. I don't accept it. Jew, I don't accept it. But I can't change what makes me laugh. Like, I laugh at shit that I probably shouldn't laugh at, and I could still be bothered by it. But if it's funny, I'm going to laugh first and be bothered later.
And you know, and excuse me, but can we just take a moment out and say, fuck the fun police real quick?
Oh, yeah.
You know, just because something is offensive and we find it funny, that doesn't mean that we're offensive people and that if someone makes a joke about someone who's large or fat, that doesn't mean we don't have empathy towards fat people. We just see the joke. We just see the humor, you know?
Some people think
we all have flaws and insecurities.
Some people believe.
So I just want to say that. Fuck the fun police.
Some people believe that that's why Chris Farley, you know, essentially OD'd, because a lot of the jokes were rooted in his size, right? Now, anyone that's watched anything Chris Farley related, I think Chris Farley's funny. Like, personally, I think he's funny as fuck. I just think he's funny. And the guy from The Night at the Roxbury, you know, the what is love? You know, the nigga opposed to Will Ferrell in that movie, they're all Saturday Night Live. But like his belief was that Chris Farley is the greatest facial comedic ever, which is true because a lot of his comedy was kind of in his expressions as opposed to like, and actually he didn't even say expressions. He said physically. He's the greatest comic ever.
Fat people are funnier.
Yeah.
How many fat people are funny? Because even like, look, Kenan Thompson, right?
Chunky.
Local guy from Atlanta. Shout out to Kenan. He just got a star, right?
Shout out.
He was Fat Albert. I mean, obviously, Bill Cosby gave him the cosign. Nickelodeon gave him the cosign. Lauren Michaels in Saturday Night Live gave him the cosign.
He did the LeVar Ball, and that was hilarious.
Now, he lost weight, but he's somebody too that's lost weight. But regardless, yes, it used to be okay. It was Keenan and Kel, right? And Keenan was the
girls like Kel, but I was like, bro, Kel sucked, bro.
I thought Kel's shit was more about fucking orange soda and like doing this like I'm desperate type act.
Yeah, how most of y'all niggas is walking around right now, desperate.
Oh, definitely.
They don't understand semen retention.
Oh, Jesus. Don't get me into that. You know, when I saw Jude put that up into the group, you know, I've seen plenty of posts on semen retention, and again, me being a person that has actually gone through with it, I said 50 days in the group chat. I think it was actually longer than that. So I literally set out not to consume any pornography, any of that type of stuff, and that whole Kevin Gates, and there's a lot of misinformation out there, but that whole losing my hair and things. Give me 1 second, gentlemen.
It's probably some semen he's about to lose right there.
Yeah, I know, right? He's like, oh.
But no, like, here's why I say fat people are funnier. I saw Bruce in person, and like when you see his body just when he's laughing, that's funny.
We went, but see,
all right, I'm sorry.
Okay,
we went and saw Faison Love in person.
Is he funny in person?
He's funny.
He is actually.
Honestly, what his funniness is. He's an alcoholic. He's a drunk.
Oh, I can relate.
He's a drunk, and so his funniness stems from, man, you're just up here and you just don't even give a fuck about what's going on. You're lit to the point at where you're just sitting up and you're just talking about.
You know, we're talking about comedy, right?
I get it. I'm not here. Let's continue the show.
Okay, I want to keep talking about comedy and fat people being funny.
There's more comedy in this group right now because Jude's sitting up, you know, talking about how all of a sudden I'm an athlete. It's just like, you motherfuckers met me when I was literally coming off. We were working out at Morehouse before we even came to PSP. Like,
hey, you heard he said Pierce is faster than every nigga in this group who is paid to stay in physical shape. Ha ha ha. Bruh. Hey, Hoos, you know we're gonna be live for the draft on the pod, right?
Oh, I'm ready for that.
I think we gotta.
Are we gonna be able to set it up to where everyone can be like streamed in?
Everyone's gonna have the link. Everybody can tune in from their desktop, laptop, phone. Like, you're gonna have the link to be on the pod. So my recommendation is that you have more than one device so that you can draft and pod from those two devices.
This isn't field day. This isn't field day, and we're not doing the 100-meter dash. All right, and getting ribbons. I think it's more of a I'm a grown man, and I think you know your capabilities. Now, look, I would like to think. I'm trying to think in terms of running. If we did a 40-yard dash, honestly finish. I do think that for one run, I do think I can power through. And now, granted, I haven't had to run like that either in a minute. I know I wouldn't finish last for one, but then secondly, I don't know. Hell, JP Major Parlay will come here and niggas they have a problem coming up my stairs sometimes. And I get it. I go up and down them every day, but like he's like, man, I'm out of breath after running up the stairs.
Yeah, see, I got an inhaler for all that because I got asthma, and I still like me. I won't smoke a cigar tonight, and I still like me.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about the about the fantasy draft. Really, I mean, we got 3 of the big wigs on the phone. Really, the only guys that stand a chance at winning this thing are all on the phone right now. And I'll give Josh his credit. Josh stands a chance, but that's really about it. I mean, Dale got lucky. He knows he got lucky.
Amon-Ra St. Brown went crazy while playoff Lenny was hurt. Let's be real. That's what happened. And
then he got Joe Burrow, which was a steal of a pickup for him.
I mean, did you trade that to him? Who traded that to him? That was a trade. He got that. He got Joe Burrow. Maybe it was Boink. Somebody gave him Joe Burrow. He didn't draft.
I mean, Boink is so much like Roger Goodell in the fact that he manages the league way better than he manages a team. Like, nobody will want Roger Goodell to run their team. And I see what Boink does every year in fantasy, and I go, yeah, dude, you're the commission, but you're not an owner.
Yeah.
And sometimes, commish skills and owner skills don't mix up. But I'll tell you, the group is doing something today it shouldn't be doing during a pod.
And what's that?
All this shit talking because Jew is really talking this shit because he got muscles now.
Jew's sitting up and talking about what he does today. And that is what matters. But what he does, he's saying with Pierce Paris, I don't even know what RT stands for.
So can you run a mile and a half in a certain time, do certain pull-ups and certain sit-ups? I don't know because I'm not in that organization, so I don't do that. My organization, they do 3 miles. A mile and a half, that's a fucking skip in the park. I don't know.
Right. You're only going around the track 6 times.
And if you do it on a trail, you're probably going to run that trail a time and a half, so you don't even got to do the track shit, so it's even easier.
Well, even as a dad, what everybody has to realize that I still walk Mariana, and I'm the one that pushes the cart when not the cart, but the stroller.
Hey, you got any stroller advice? Is the Bentley stroller everything they say it is?
She barely uses it just because it sits here, but I'm looking at it right now. But yes, overall, because it'll teach the biking skills, and then eventually, it's a 5-level kind.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to talk the wife into it.
It's a 5-level kind of thing. You could literally, it's a stroller, right? But then it turns into a tricycle, then a bicycle.
Yeah, so like we watched some videos on it because we're trying to figure all this stuff out. I'm actually gonna ask you some girl dad advice when I see you tomorrow. Okay. Who's you coming over tomorrow?
I am.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get.
What time are y'all getting started?
We're supposed to be getting started at 7. I hope to be in the city around 3 or 4, and I'm gonna parlay and bullshit until your brother gets off from work and I can go to his house. I'll probably park my car and then walk to Hooters.
Understood.
Hey,
I'll be.
Parlay Pete, how we dressing for tomorrow?
Comfortable. I wasn't gonna change. I could put. I'm comfortable.
I plan to be comfortable.
I want it to be as organic as possible.
Yeah, I do too. I'm thinking about wearing my Birkenstocks with my toes out because that's kind of my new vibe now. Also, do you have plans for Saturday that you can speak about on this podcast? After the game?
Yeah. I was going to get a dinner because at first I was going to travel to North Carolina with you, but the timing of it, if I go to unless I don't go to the preseason game.
Are you going to the preseason game?
That was my
plan. Well, hey, gentlemen, I'm sorry. I got some dinner to prepare. So
you got to prepare dinner. Sorry, Hoos. We kind of forgot it. Yeah.
No, y'all are good. I'm about to make some steaks. So.
Oh, lucky you. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah. No, man, come on. You know they got the skirt steaks from Sam's Club. You get like freaking 8 steaks for $20. So.
Hey,
but nonetheless,
people eat ground beef tonight.
Pod. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, Bama. It was a rebuild, so I'm out.
All right, Doc.
This guy.
Anything else you want to talk about today? Like, we might actually be done at 2 hours.
We got one more thing to hit.
What you got?
At least our predictions for the Power 5 winners, and then the college football playoff, and then our national championship and winner. Let's do
Hey,
that.
do you want me to add that 2-hour gambling spreadsheet that I'm tracking, or are we just shooting shit from the hip?
You know, even this past year when we did it, we would do the 6-pack, and then I'd do a college one. So, and we have college football, so we actually can put up the first Parlay Pete ones for the year.
So,
now,
okay,
a 6-pack.
So let me tell you.
Tell them we're gonna give them a 24 ounce.
All right. So just so you know, I got a spreadsheet that after the pods, I upload all the bets that we put out there, and I'm making a sheet for each week so that everything's we can track everything. And I'm gonna fucking formulate these numbers this year.
Okay.
So CFB, this is week 0 that they're calling it. Week 0.
Yep. So we can do that, and then also, like I said, just give our predictions on the conferences.
Okay, we'll go Big 5.
Conferences, playoff, national champion.
Okay.
But I already know my week 0 locks. Wow, one of these is ballooned. It's ballooned. Because clearly a lot of people put money on it. Yeah, and because that's what's going to end up happening.
All right, where do you want to start?
I tell you what, picks last like normal, and then let's just run through the conferences. We'll start with the Big 12.
Okay.
It's still Texas and Oklahoma, of course. So I'm going to ride Oklahoma. I think that Brent Venables gets in there with Dylan, UCF quarterback. I think that they're just set up to be the best team in the conference. So give me Oklahoma in the Big 12. I don't like the idea of Sark and Quinn Ewers just coming in and winning immediately.
I don't either. I don't trust Sark.
They don't give me those vibes.
I don't trust Sark yet. I just can't get with it. You like OU. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna blindly say OK State because I'm gonna give Van Gundy and the and the conservative right a nod because he's building something great there, and
he's been doing it for 20 plus years. I mean, God, Lee, how long does it take? Saban did it in 2 years. I get it. He's at Alabama, but
you know what? Venables, it's his first year, and I just can't bet on Sark. So I'm gonna go OK State, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not mad at your OU pick, and I probably would take OU. Let's go ACC.
Well, and this was pretty simple too. Clemson.
Same. Like DJ had a down year, but they still won 10 games last year. I don't think people understand that. Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison left Pittsburgh. They're not going to be good.
Cover's dry.
Yeah, Clemson. Unless you believe in Mario in year 1, and he got to show me something. Let's go Big 12. No, we already went Big 12. Big 10.
I like Ohio State. I mean, it's pretty much them or the field. There isn't really an in-between there. I think that they have so many guys, even though they lost their top 2 wide receivers, they didn't play with them in the bowl game, in the Rose Bowl, and they put up 45. Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
I was listening.
Jigba considered to be a top 15 pick for sure. Probably the first wide receiver taken easy.
So, Bruce Feldman does his freaks list every year on The Athletic. And he had Marvin Harrison Jr. over Smith and Jogba. And he was like, yeah, he's 6'3". He benches like 350. Like he's a dog. He's like a freakish athletic animal that his dad's not. But apparently he has the skills and the technicality that his dad does. So, and for lack of better words, he's a different nigga. That nigga different. You know what I'm saying? So, I got Ohio State too. Because, yeah.
Oh, wait, who's won?
No, I'm saying as well. Also.
Oh,
Yeah.
two, T O.
Yeah. TOO, like me
Okay.
too.
All right, that makes a ton of sense.
Pac-12, who you got?
I'll go out and say Link and Caleb get it done, honestly, because it is still SC, and the thought is that they did, even from what's retained, there are still plenty enough talented. We know they have a top quarterback. They have a top coach. I'd like to think that they can go 10-2 and win that conference.
So
they lose one conference game and then they lose an out of conference game, which I know they played Notre Dame, but I don't know.
That's a loss. I'm not mad at your USC pick, and because of my biases, I'm picking Utah. I think that Utah is just a better program in the conference right now. I'd probably lean Oregon if Cristobal was still there. Link got to get his feet wet in this new conference, and I know he has the players, and I know he's actually recruiting the guys in the trenches. But I think that Utah has a well-oiled machine that's already moving, and this is their year to hit their peak.
That would be the only other team that I would put over USC. It would be Utah.
I think Utah. If a Pac-12 team hits the playoff, I think it's Utah this year.
Okay, but remember, USC did get Caleb Williams, and they got the top wide receiver in the nation out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but when
Bendekoff winner.
Yeah. But like if the trenches. They may make the play. They can make the playoff, and they can get dog walk like Michigan did, and like Cincy did, right?
Or Alabama, yeah.
But I think if Cincy makes the playoffs, they play a competitive game. But I know. So SEC, go ahead and tell me Bama.
No, I actually like Georgia.
You got UGA. So I got Bama winning the conference.
I see Bama won the conference last year.
Yeah, I know. That's why I got Bama winning the conference.
I think they're both undefeated going into the SEC championship, though. If you look at Georgia's schedule, I think that they both are undefeated going into it.
Okay, so who do you have in the college football playoff?
All right, and actually, I have them perfectly placed. 1, Georgia.
Okay.
Just because I think that if they beat Alabama in the national championship, they have to almost be the number 1.
Okay.
2, Ohio State.
Okay.
I think that they're going to finish undefeated as well. 3, Alabama. I think that their one loss is the SEC championship. It's against Georgia. And 4, this one's actually special. I don't think that it's going to be Clemson. And I know that a lot of people, because that's chalk. I feel like you're going chalk. You can replace Alabama and Georgia in the 1 and 3 spot, almost depending on what you think is going to happen. And it's chalk if you put these 4. I don't think that Clemson's going to be the team.
You got?
I got Baylor. I think that Baylor.
But you didn't pick them to win the Big 12. You can't get there if they don't win the Big 12. You got OU winning the Big 12.
Oh, I
did. Yeah. Make it make sense now.
They might hold you accountable. Loss.
Huh?
Alabama made the tournament, and they didn't play in the SEC championship.
That only works in the SEC. You know that. The Big 12 would not get that benefit.
11-1 in the Big 12, and your one loss was to Oklahoma. And you're in the same side of the conference, which they are.
So you're saying, but how does Oklahoma win the Big 12? So you're saying Oklahoma loses the Big 12 championship, and they're like, you saying they're OK State who didn't?
No, you know what? You're right. You actually are right. Then Oklahoma is my pick.
Okay.
Even though that feels chalk too.
Boomer fucking Sooner.
So
for people who don't know, I may be going to Boomer. I may be going to OU for.
I know, but can we have that as a drop, just in general?
If I go there, yes. But if I choose Ohio State, then it's gonna be OHIO, all that bullshit, right?
We have to, you have to be like the
Ohio State.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm chalk. I'm going Bama, UGA, Ohio State, Clemson.
You think Bama? You think UGA? Well, that's not no order.
I didn't put it in order, but if you want me to put it in order, I'm going to go Bama, the 1 seed, Ohio State, the 2 seed, Clemson, the 3 seed, Georgia, the 4 seed.
Do you think Georgia plays Alabama in the playoff?
You know what? I take that back. You know what? I take that back. I was thinking seeding without looking at the conference. Yeah, Georgia's 3, Clemson 4. I think Georgia should be the 4 seed, but I know they don't want to have the back-to-back games, Georgia, Alabama.
Exactly.
So
the point is, if they're both undefeated, one can be the 3.
Yeah, so
Ohio State will get the 2 no matter what.
And I think Utah, OK State, and A&M create a conversation that needs to be had for expansion. Which I'm anti-expansion. I know it's going to happen, but I think those teams create the conversation this year for a legitimate expansion.
My bad.
Are you good? We almost done. Shit.
Lee,
yeah.
As I told you beforehand, I know it sounds crazy to believe it. I am still feeling the effects of last night, literally. And it's kind of crazy. But nonetheless.
Go to bed, man.
I'm not even tired. But regardless. No, I think that's a good way to look at it. Chalk in general is kind of college football, and that's why they want to do this realignment to make it a little bit more competitive, I would imagine. And it's because
coaches don't want that.
It's because there are 4 teams that literally, when you look at the last 5 years of it, I mean, we know Alabama's been it for the last 15, right? But when you look at it, Georgia now is kind of a staple, because they pretty much are in the SEC championship every year. And if you're in the SEC championship, as long as you win that game, you go to the national championship, no matter what happens.
Yeah. And if you lose,
you be a 2-loss team going against an undefeated team, you're in, because you won the SEC. So I look at it from that perspective. Georgia, Clemson, Alabama, they're just always there. Ohio State, Oklahoma. Those 5 teams literally just don't lead the discussion. Unless you have a year like how Clemson had this past year.
Yeah, like the worst 10-3 year ever.
I know, right? Like, because you wouldn't
we really think Clemson was trash, and they weren't. They played Georgia 10-3.
You wouldn't have thought that they won 10 games. But they did. And I think similar to the Russell Wilson, Westbrook and Laker conversation we had earlier, I think that DJ should be better this year. Even though he had played kind of the year before, he should be better. I think that not as much as the expectation at Clemson is probably always the same, but like it's not the same, because it isn't. It isn't the same.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, look, Parlay Pete, I ain't gonna lie to you. You talking crazy in the group text now?
Well, I keep hearing my phone.
Yeah. Like, hey, viewers, thanks for the show. We really appreciate you guys. We're recording a great show for y'all tomorrow that I don't know when y'all see it. Y'all see it when y'all see it. And we're coming back Sunday night with the Locker Room Draft Show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks, Who's, for signing in. But there's important matters in the group text that need to be tended to. Hey, what time you get off tomorrow?
I'm a lot freer tomorrow than normal.
I plan to leave.
But I have to pick. I have to do pickup. So I won't be at my house until, like I said, 6 or 6:30.
Yeah, I plan for that. I plan to be in the city around 3, 4. I plan to beat the traffic. I plan to be like parked at your house and then just like walking around bullshitting before traffic hits. I just don't want to deal with traffic. So yeah, bro, I'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. I guess we'll continue this on here, but I'm reading.
Yeah. I gotta get off here because I gotta give this my attention right now.
Here. All right. I'll talk to you. I'll see you. Just hit me tomorrow.
All right, bet.
All right, brother.
Yep.